Dr. Matthias Gromeyer, a molecular biologist who's been laboring over this therapy 25 years, the last 15 at Duke. When you went to your colleagues and said, I've got it, we'll use the polio virus to kill cancer, what did they say?
Well, I got a range of responses from crazy to you're lying to all kinds of things. Most people thought it just was too dangerous.
That, of course, 60 Minutes from this past Sunday night, where we were exposed to what I thought was an absolutely incredible story. And we're going to talk more about the story with Newsmax's own Deputy Editor of Health, Nick Tate. Nick, how are you?
I'm well, Rick. How are you and Betsy doing today?
We're good, man. We're good. Listen, I want to start out with this report about using the polio virus as a potential cure for, at this point, brain cancer, and now we're being told maybe even more. Just one of the remarkable stories in healthcare this week, but tell us more about that.
Well, that's absolutely right. I mean, this study kind of transcends medical science and really is in the realm of the miraculous. What researchers at Duke have been doing is they've been taking the polio virus, they re-engineer it genetically so that it is kind of defanged of the ability to infect people with polio, and they allow it to train onto cancer tumors in brain cancer, and it not only kills the tumors, they've had huge success with a small number of patients, but it also enlists the assistance of the body's own immune system. Once those viruses infect tumor cells, it causes the body's immune system to also target those tumor cells. So what we really have is a leading edge potential new treatment. They're not saying it's a cure yet, but it's at least the next best thing for this very dangerous brain cancer, and it may be useful against prostate cancer, breast cancer, and pancreatic cancers that kill tens of thousands of Americans every year.
It's just amazing. And basically what they're finding is the virus triggers the body's own system to do the job that's built to do it.
That's right. I mean, one of the real leading edges in medicine today is to try to figure out ways to not just, cut through surgery or burn through radiation or toxify through chemo tumor cells, but actually enlist the body's own defenses so that they can recognize, target, and kill cancer tumors. So this is really at the very forefront, and we expect there are more studies that are going to be conducted, and based on this new FDA fast tracking system, we could see this as a potential new treatment that will be on the market within the next couple years.
Amazing. Nick, one of the other big stories that's breaking in health this week is the discovery of a 1,000-year-old recipe that may take care of one of our worst infections. I'm going to turn it over to Betsy to ask you about this because this is very much in her sphere of expertise.
Hi, Nick. It is really an amazing story because we're all pushing for new antibiotics to cure superbugs like MRSA. Yeah. But you've got a good story about a 1,000-year-old cure. Tell us more.
That's right. Well, researchers at the University of Nottingham consulted a medieval medical textbook. It's basically a kind of recipe for treatments that were used back in the 9th century. And what they found is one particular treatment that was used, a recipe for eye infections involving simply garlic, onions, and wine, was very effective in destroying MRSA, this antibiotic-resistant superbug. In fact, when they treated mice that were infected with MRSA and when they treated MRSA bacterial agents in a dish, 90% of them were destroyed by this recipe, which really does sound more like a recipe for something good to eat. And what's really happening is this is another one of those research findings that shows that medical science is just verifying that many of these ancient traditional healing practices actually have some ability to have an effect.
And they're natural, too. What about the other one, Rick?
Well, yeah, but I want to ask Nick a question before we're going to get to the third breaker this week. But Nick, it sounds like so far they can use this these ingredients to kind of clean around a hospital to kill MRSA viruses. Have they found a way that they can actually use it to cure somebody who's contracted that infection?
Well, these are really early studies, Rick and Betsy. They really, typically what happens in scientific research is you first test these treatments out on animals. You test them out on cells in a kind of petri dish, and if they show effectiveness, as they have in this case, then they will proceed to those clinical trials that involve human patients and see whether they're actually effective there. But This is something that's been around for literally 1,000 years, as we say, so there's no reason to believe that it wouldn't have some effect if we can design some kind of a treatment, a pill, an injection, or a vaccine that would make a difference. And that's the next phase, to see if what was once used centuries ago could be used again in modern-day hospitals and other facilities.
It's amazing stuff, Nick. It really is. Now, just we have about 5 seconds left, but just tell us quickly, peanuts or no peanuts?
Peanuts. The latest study shows
good for you, right?
All right. Once a dietary
Nick
evil because they're fatty are good for you.
Newsmax Media's own Nick Tate. Nick, we got to let you go. Thanks so much. Coming up next, the man with the bow tie, the man who knows the economy, Peter Morici. Don't leave. He's coming up.